Nice to meet you all. My name is Toon. I'll be your master of ceremony on this stage today. Sustaining economic recovery. On your lanyard, you have a sort of a cheat sheet where you can look at what is happening where and the full program of the day. I'm going to run through this introduction very quick because I need to catch up a little bit of time, but do use it. It's, of course, also in the online program, and we'll come to the rooms afterwards, but you have all the subjects of the day: finance, insurance, regulation, relaunch. We have a really exciting pitch battle going on. So make sure you look at the program. You don't always have to remain in this room. And when the keynotes are happening, we're streaming the images from this room to the other room, so you don't miss out if you're not in the room itself. Session 1, finance. 2, insurance, regulation, and everything about the economic recovery and the relaunch. I'm going to go to the next stage, the main stage where we have all the startups. So if this is of interest to you, please go and look at them. If you've been an entrepreneur, you know how exciting it is to pitch your startup. Well, this is one of those great opportunities to do that. And we have the moderation by Céline Suntai from Boston Consulting, so she'll be hosting that session over there. And on stage number 3, we have all the interactive sessions. We have the workshop, so again, look at the program, choose where you want to go. Same thing for everybody following us online. Big welcome for that, and you can join in and tune into those same sessions. Again, all day long, and we look forward to the wrap-up at the end of the day. I would also like you to look at all the speaker cafes and the fireside chats that we have organized for today. So a lot of exciting things. Don't stay and hang around in one room. Make sure you look around and also meet our 40 exhibitors who we thank for making the event possible and for showing up today. So big thanks to all of those and our sponsors and our partners such as The Loft from Luxembourg, who's present today too. Without further ado, the formal welcome address will be opened by fellow board member Jean-Louis van HOUWE. And I thank you all, and please do not forget to put these masks on all day long. Thank you very, very much. Jean-Louis. No.
Wow. Hello, everybody. I think, am I allowed, MCs, to take off my mask? Thank you very much. After the years, this is the 6th edition that we have all done together. Now I have to wear some glasses. This is signs of times or perhaps COVID. So dear friends of digital finance from Belgium, Europe, and elsewhere, I will really warmly welcome you today in this DFS. This is our 6th edition, and this time is a really true success. Never before did we have so many attendees confirmed so early. So warm welcome to you. With COVID, you know that we have learned to be and working digital and also be agile. And this is why, in addition to all of you here in the room, we have hundreds of people watching this in real time. So welcome to you, welcome to everybody there. I hope that you are cozy at home, or perhaps at the office, even though it's not allowed. Isn't it true, Mr. President, I would say, Mr. Minister? So I can't start this summit to thank Toon van Haag. Toon has been our MC, Master of Ceremony, for 6th edition, and he has become a true FinTech star. I also want to thank you all our members, and in a special attention to those members that are working in our board of directors for not-profit, taking all their energy and ideas and intellect to support our FinTech sector. Thank you very much, board members and members. Our FinTech sector is literally booming. Over the last decade, billions, tens of billions of euros, dollar, whatever currency, has been invested in our sector, decades after decades, years after years, and it is increasing as we speak. Just between 20 and 21, in Europe, investment have been multiplied by a factor 3.5. So it's happening. And FinTech sector, in the tech industry, the best and the biggest tech investments at all compared to all the others. The second being for perhaps just a third of the investment that are happening in the FinTech industry. So this is a trend we cannot miss. For the same period in Belgium, it has a little bit decreased. So this is a worry for us. even though there have been some big deals like IBAN First. It's important food for thought for us, but also for our authorities and all the ecosystem. Partnership. Today, we want to emphasize this keyword, partnership. First of all, fintechs are rather collaborating with incumbents. For years, the incumbents were thinking that fintechs were competing, but actually what is happening is that the fintechs and the banks are collaborating more than competing. Also, our association is building a lot of partnerships. First of all, of an international basis. We have created last year the European Digital Finance Association with 15 members, and we are together, located here in Brussels, discussing with the EC about matters like open data, digital bank, and digital identity. With Silver Square, we have created the Fire Hub last year, which is a place to co-work and to meet. And here, let me underline the fundamental role of our partners and sponsors. You understand that without these type of events and all the fintech's activities could not happen. And last but not the least, let me underline our partnership with Febelfin. Karel, BAERT and his team have been supporting in realizing this DFS. This is also reflecting of fintechs and banks are working together, of course. Therefore, I want to thank you, Karel, for the joy of working together, and I will give you the floor. A warm welcome to Karel, BAERT, the CEO of Febelfin.
Karel, please join us on stage. His predecessor, Karel van Eeten, you need to be a Karel to be the CEO of Febelfin, that's clear. You can go to the pupitre. He was a gym teacher once. He did a warm-up when we were in the same hotel 2 years ago. I've asked this Karel not to do the warm-up for the pandemic reasons, but it's a good moment to take a nice breath, think about breathe in and breathe out, and get ready for the opening address by Karel, BAERT. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Jean-Louis, for the warm welcome. It is a real pleasure to be here, together with all people here present today, but also those following this event online. As you rightly said, innovation and collaboration are key in our sector. But in order to keep innovating, we need that all people, everyone, should feel comfortable using our products and services. So this leads me to a very important theme of today, also is the cybersecurity. As you know, the pandemic has unfortunately led to a large number of fraudulent transactions. Only in 2020, there were 67,000 fraudulent transactions with a total net of 34 million euros. On top of that, it is important to know that 12% of Belgians never heard about the word phishing. This is even more concerning if we know that 30% of the younger people never heard about it. So raising awareness is key to inform the public at large. The more alert people are about phishing and about the latest modus operandi of fraudsters, the more we can let down the number of fraudulent transactions. This is also the explicit purpose of a new initiative, a new campaign we launched recently, Be Smarter Than a Fisher, which is a collaboration between Febelfin, but also with the Center of Cybersecurity of Belgium and the Cybersecurity Coalition with more than 500 active partners. I think this kind of initiatives is very important to raise awareness because phishing is a societal problem. It is the credibility of the digital world which is at stake. So cooperation between all partners involved is key, be it the government, be it the financial sector, be it the telecom sector, be it police and justice. Another very important topic for today is, of course, ESG. A lot of people came here for also this team. We at Febelfin believe that the sector must take the lead in the pursuit for a sustainable world for the next generations, and it will also benefit itself from that. The success of the Towards Sustainability label of Febelfin proves that proactivity in sustainability can lead to European success. During the course of the day, my colleague Tom van den Berge, our Director Sustainable Finance, will tell you more about the ambition of Febelfin in that sector and will also explain how we should collaborate to achieve these important goals. My final message is, let us turn the many challenges in terms of cybersecurity and ESG into opportunities. Opportunities to work together between traditional banks and FinTech companies, and I'm sure, I'm really convinced that our clients will benefit from this. I wish you all a very inspiring event, and Jean-Louis, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Karel, for this pretty inspiring speech about cybersecurity and about ESG. Indeed, with the COP26 recently ended, we understand that everybody needs to take these things very seriously, and our sector is taking these things very seriously. With the European ESG obligations, the customers' demands, but also as a responsibility from us all as human beings, we know that we are all stimulated to make the world simply change. It's a must, but also it's a great opportunity. As you very well said, Karel, inclusion is important. Our sector is putting a lot of energy to achieve a better balance, for example, working with FinTech ladies. Inclusion means also social inclusions. You all know that every day in the world, thanks to FinTech, we observe that those people that were not allowed, that did not have access to the financial services, do have access to the financial services. Allow me also last word on our association, FinTech Belgium, and what we do. 3 years ago, when I became the president of the FinTech, we decided to organize ourselves in verticals, accompanying the maturity of our sector, but also the maturity of our members. These 5 verticals were payments, e-commerce, insurtech, accounting tech, and regulation tech. This year, we created a new one, and I all believe that you guess what type of vertical we have been creating. This is really the blockchain vertical. Our objective is truly to stimulate our government not to miss the train, and not only the government, but also all the ecosystem of the fintechers to make a grasp and a big come through on this blockchain technology in Belgium. And you can believe me, the federal government is listening to us. Yes, not only because repeatedly during the crisis and for the reload plan, we have put the FinTech Center onto the map in Belgium, but also because today we have the great pleasure and honor to have this morning Mr. Vincent van PETEGHEM, the Minister of Finance, and this afternoon we have the State Secretary, Mathieu Michel, State Secretary of the Digital Agenda, that will speak about that. So thank you for your presence. Thank you to the hundreds of speakers that are coming today. Thank you to all of you to be present here. Maybe this will be the last event before Christmas and beyond, so enjoy this physical presence. Wishing you all a wonderful day, full of excitement, interactions, and creativity. Thank you very much. And let me have the honor to ask Mr. Vincent van PETEGHEM to come on stage and tell you what he will do to support our sector. Thank you very much. See you.
Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, dear FinTech leaders and dear participants at this Digital Finance Summit. I'm pleased, I'm also honored to be invited once again to this event organized by a grassroots organization like FinTech Belgium. And this is the FinTech Belgium Digital Summit already for the 6th time that you're organizing it. And we cannot underestimate how important these sorts of events are, bringing the Belgium and European FinTech community together. FinTech Belgium and I namely share the ambition to make Brussels a major FinTech hub and by extension the financial center of Europe. So I was very happy to accept this speech here today, to come to you and to address you all today. And I hope that it was not only my alluding for a new invitation at the end of the speech I gave last year that triggered you to invite me this year. But ladies and gentlemen, in my speech at the same summit last year, I expressed my deepest hopes to meet you all in person this time around, like in the good old days. Unfortunately, after the digital edition we had last year, the sanitary situation still doesn't allow us, and so we have to rely on this hybrid format a little while longer and take into account all the other safety measures that are put in place. Needless to say, like many of you surely, I miss the special vibrant atmosphere and pleasant bustle that this type of event brings, in particular during the networking moments. And if we look back to the past year, we have seen a huge boost in investment in European FinTech companies. Figures of 19.7 billion euros of private capital invested, or a multiplier of 3 compared to a year earlier, trigger our imagination. The COVID crisis and the strong digitization it has brought with it, of course, are the driving forces behind this development. And admittedly, however, the numbers for Belgium do not entirely follow the European vector, the European numbers. And I therefore believe that we must focus more than ever on emerging markets and placing startups in the spotlight as much as possible to promote their growth into successful scale-ups. Initiatives like startups.be and scaleups.be, the ecosystems with input from, among others, our federal holding and investment company and the government can help to make this evolution possible. Moreover, plenty of examples preceded them in the past, including successful unicorns. And the government believes, more than ever, that the essential link between sustainability, finance, and technology, as highlighted by COVID-19, will define tomorrow's economy. And I refer to the European Union FinTech Action Plan, which already in 2018 aims, among other things, to redirect funds towards sustainable investments. But also, our own recovery and resilience plan foresees an important role for the digitization of our country, both internally within the government, but also externally. With a digital coefficient of 27%, we are aiming 7% higher than the European required 20%. From the National Plan for Recovery and Resilience, the federal government is investing 30 million in the e-inclusion project, which, through the creation of a federal project incubator with resources for financing and developing sustainable initiatives, aims to tackle existing inequalities such as access and use of online banking or e-commerce. In addition, Digitalisation is also one of the 4 investment themes of the SFP-PIM relaunch subsidiary set up earlier this year. Through this fund, we want, among other things, to co-invest in Belgian companies that contribute to the transition to a sustainable economy of tomorrow. Needless to repeat, there are many opportunities here for fintechs, which are preeminent companies that can help make the shift to digitalization and sustainability. So yes, Mr. President, we do count on fintech to sustain the economic recovery. And I believe that the financial sector as a whole and fintech companies are equal partners to combine sustainability with growth. New environment, social and governance requirements, and initiatives will allow the whole sector to better measure its social responsibility and increase consumer awareness of these new requirements. However, some aspects remain particularly challenging, such as the reporting of ESG data. FinTech can play a major role in regard to this data disclosure challenge. Just as FinTech is an added value, so is RegTech, where they help financial actors to mitigate the burden cost of regulation. Mr. President, in the last few days, in the run-up to the summit, I have read various papers in the press concerning blockchain, and you already mentioned it. And it would be strange, therefore, not to touch on this subject. And it is true that blockchain continues to grow more mature today than it was some time ago. And it is a fact that Belgium should not miss this train, as it is already steadily leaving the station. In the law on diverse financial dispositions of June 2021, among many other topics, I have already partially touched upon the emerging markets. For example, in security tradings, we have made it possible for participants in financial markets to use certain new technologies, including blockchain, with full legal certainty so that they can enjoy the benefits created by these new technologies. However, I understand that the scope of this legal provision is still quite limited. But you will want to understand that legal certainty and legal security in general for citizens and especially for businesses is a priority of me. And ladies and gentlemen, even before the COVID crisis, citizens regularly came into direct and indirect contact with Belgian companies in the fintech sector. For example, Bank Contact. To name but one clear example of a Belgian pioneer in fintech, has been part of the family of many Belgians for years. Other companies headquartered in our country, such as Euroclear or Swift, have remained under the radar for many compatriots, although their importance in the international financial world can hardly be overestimated. Swift, for example, is engaging with its community to explore potential business use cases in payments, in securities, and trade finance. Still others were, until recently, known only to those who liked to be up to date, but have now experienced an enormous boost during the COVID crisis. Just think of It's Me, which partially thanks to the CST app now has millions of Belgian citizens and users. Not to mention the many fintech companies that have meanwhile digitalized meal vouchers, eco vouchers, and since COVID also the consumption vouchers and payments. These are just a few examples of many that show Belgium at the forefront of a pioneering role in fintech, sustaining our economic system and recovery throughout. And although I understand the warning issued by your chairman in the press over the past few days, I still want to remain optimistic for the future. Optimism is a moral duty after all. But by no means does this mean that we want to sit back and relax, resting on our laurels. On the contrary, more than ever, we want to put Brussels and Belgium on the map as the financial heart of Europe. We have all the assets to do so. We have highly trained staff. We have an excellent reputation for education. We have good infrastructure. We have the presence of a number of important players in the international financial world, near the Belgium and the European institutions, where so many regulations are made. And it is my ambition to further convince as many companies as possible, certainly including FinTech companies, of our strengths. But for this, I'm also counting on you. I'm counting on you and your contacts in the FinTech world. Because after all, you are our best ambassadors. And I'm confident I'll find a partner in you for this endeavor. I wish you all a very interesting and inspiring summit. Thank you very much.
Our next speaker is Audrey CHABIN from Visa, where she's the head of business development for both Benelux and France, and she was trained in to the airports all the way from Paris. So please, warm welcome for our next speaker from Visa. All the best.
Hello, everyone. Hope you're well. Well, I have to say, I'm really honored to be here today, and I'm delighted to be here today. I'm delighted to be here for two reasons. The first one is the first time Visa is actually part of the Belgium FinTech Association and sponsoring this event. And the second reason, this is my first business trip in 2 years. 2 years. COVID has changed the way we've been planning business, how we're interacting here, physically and online. And we had the same impact on payments. And I'm going to show you on the first point how COVID impacted the payment ecosystem. The second topic is I'm going to present to you two trends around digital money. And the last one is around openness and innovation. But before I take you through that, let me share with you what Visa is about. Statistically, most of you should have a Visa card in its pocket. Or if not, at least know somebody that has one. But in reality, we are more than the 3.7 billion cards in the world. We are more than the 80 million merchant locations. We connect the players in the payment ecosystem, such as the financial institutions, the FinTech, the third-party enablers, governments, and also businesses, to make sure that everyone can move money everywhere. And later on, you will have this full meaning of everywhere. And we operate in more than 200 countries globally. So we have quite a lot of payment insights. And the first one I'm going to take you through is around Europe. How COVID impacted the digital payments in Europe and accelerated the adoption of those payments. So the first point is around e-commerce that was mentioned. E-commerce had a growth of 40% of e-com transaction in Europe. Huge growth. And the second one is around contactless. And we've been working with government, with other key players in 29 countries in Europe to increase the flow limit and enable more contactless payments. And 80% of Visa transactions in Europe today are contactless. But at the end, the consumers are actually the one that want to retain in the touch-free experience. They want to continue to do online purchase. Businesses that have been able to switch into online services and provide digital payment acceptance have recovered faster. The other thing that we've noticed as well is countries with higher internet penetration and higher digital payment maturity, like in the UK and Nordics, recovered faster than other countries like in Greece or Italy. So this is critical for that economy recovery. FinTech have been crucial in this period. They are accelerating the user experience and the digital payment space. And when earlier on I mentioned everywhere, we actually have a FinTech called Mooncard that made the first contactless corporate transaction in the stratosphere. And for the little story, the transaction was made here in Belgium, in a hotel. Digital money is also the other trends coming up. And the first one I'm going to share with you is on buy now, pay later. So consumer expects faster, more convenient, and more flexible way to pay. In the US, during the COVID period, there's been a 30% month-over-month growth on buy now, pay later. And given the number of fintechs and financial institutions developing this service, we can expect this to grow. The second one, I was talking a bit earlier on about this topic, is around cryptocurrencies. At Visa, this year, we saw more than 3.5 billion payment volume made on cryptocurrencies. Consumer, again, expects to purchase and exchange cryptocurrencies on the trusted card payment. And we're here to facilitate and provide API to financial institutions and fintech to meet those consumer demand, and also working to develop the infrastructure and upgrade the infrastructure to enable USDC as a settlement currency. And the last area of activities around cryptocurrencies is on central bank digital currencies, CBDC. We've been working with Consensus Crypto Platform, and earlier on this month, during the Singapore Festival Challenge, we won one of the challenges, the CBDC Go. So it's providing an integration and coexistence of the two systems in order for users to spend CBDCs without changing acceptance network. And we are engaging with more central banks around the world around this very, very complex topic. But to enable innovation, we need to give access. And this is critical to fuel the growth of the economy. The future of money is digital. By enabling new players' capabilities to integrate this service, we have endless possibilities of payment innovation and new users' experience. As a last example, I'm going to share with you the partnership we've done recently with Daimler, where Mercedes drivers can purchase goods and services in their car without any device using their fingerprint. And this is only the beginning. So in conclusion, the future of payment is bright. And with the rise of digital banking, there is an opportunity to accelerate towards innovation and sustain the economy recovery. So I invite all the fintechs in this room and online to continue to foster this innovation and bring those new consumer experiences. And for those who would like to go into payment services, to connect with our enabler partner so you can join the Visa network. Thank you very much. It's been an honor to be here, and I hope you enjoyed the day. And the Visa team will be here the whole day if you want to connect or reconnect with them. Thank you.